Welcome back to the Weekly Sports Show. I'm your host, Agastya Bajaj, and in this edition of the Weekly Sports Show, I'll be going over what has happened in sport in the past week. I'll be previewing some big events which will take place in sport over the next few days, and, as always, at the end of the show, I'll be giving out the Athlete of the Week award. So on Thursday night in Zurich, FIFA hosted the yearly Best Awards to crown the best player, manager, and team of the year. Robert Lewandowski overcame two of the greatest players in the history of the sport, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, to win the award and be crowned the best player in football in 2020. And Robert Lewandowski thoroughly deserved to win the award, as he scored 55 goals and 47 appearances for Bayern Munich to help them win the treble earlier this year. Bayern goalkeeper Manuel Neuer also was crowned the best goalkeeper of the year, and he also thoroughly deserved to win the award, as his performances were crucial in Bayern Munich picking up the silverware they did earlier this year, as Neuer was also the man of the match in the Champions League final against Paris Saint-Germain. However, Bayern Munich didn't sweep all the individual awards, as Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp somehow was crowned Manager of the Year for the second year running over Bayern boss Hansi Flick. And even Jurgen Klopp's reaction when he won the award was so priceless, as Jurgen Klopp was so surprised when he won the award, and when he was giving his winning speech, even he said he didn't have a winning speech prepared because he thought Hansi Flick was gonna win, and he even said Hansi Flick should have won the award over him. So fair play for Jurgen Klopp for admitting that, and I think the footballing world thoroughly agrees with Jurgen Klopp, as Hansi Flick has won more trophies than losses since his arrival at Bayern Munich. However, I don't think Jurgen Klopp will mind winning the award for the second year running, as Jurgen Klopp has had a fantastic week with Liverpool so far, as Liverpool beat the tactically flawless title challengers Tottenham 2-1 at Anfield on Wednesday night, and then they travelled up to Selhurst Park yesterday, where they beat Crystal Palace 7-0 in an incredibly clinical and ruthless performance from the entire team. So congratulations to Bayern Munich and Liverpool for having great weeks so far. So a few days ago, after sporting icon Roger Federer won the award for being the best Swiss athlete in the past 70 years, Federer gave some quite daunting remarks about his future. Despite already being injured for the last 11 months, Federer said that at the moment, he still isn't fit to compete at the Australian Open, which takes place in just over 2 months. Federer even said that he may never be able to play tennis ever again. Throughout the year, Federer has hinted that his retirement is so close, and on Sunday night, Federer said that he hopes to be able to compete at Wimbledon, the Olympics, and the US Open next year. However, judging on what he said about his retirement over the past year, and over the fact that he's had 2 career-ending injuries at the age of 39, it's sadly looking like the GOAT might already be retired or is going to retire at the end of next season. So hopefully the face of tennis can return to the court for one final time, where he can end his career on a spectacular note and cement his legacy as one of, or if not, the greatest athlete to ever play sports. So elsewhere off the court, but this time in the NBA, back-to-back MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo shut down all the free agency and trade rumors, as the Greek Freak signed the most expensive deal in NBA history, which was a 5-year extension with the Milwaukee Bucks, which will see him earn at least $230 million in that time. Personally, although Giannis is securing the bag and is extremely settled in Milwaukee, if Giannis had championship aspirations, he should have declined this mega extension, like James Harden did earlier this month, as if Giannis went to a team like the Miami Heat would actually be favorites to win the championship, and it would be a perfect fit for Giannis, as he could still be the MVP, and he would actually have a legitimate chance of winning the championship, as the rest of his teammates would actually be good, unlike at the Milwaukee Bucks, where his teammates aren't all-stars or championship caliber players. So last Sunday, the Formula One season ended in Abu Dhabi, as after finishing on pole position in an incredibly thrilling qualifying, Max Verstappen put on a Lewis Hamilton-esque performance to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as he dominated it as he led every single lap, leading to him winning the race with a comfortable margin. In fact, Max Verstappen has finally ended the domination of Mercedes, as this was the first time in 39 races that a Mercedes driver has not led at least one lap of the race. This race also kind of felt like an end of an era, as this was the last time the likes of Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, and Alex Albon raced with these teams. Other than Kevin Magnussen, who will be leaving F1, all the other drivers will remain in the sport, as Sebastian Vettel will finally go to a team with a good engine, as Sebastian Vettel will be with Aston Martin next season. Daniel Ricciardo will go to McLaren as he joins his friend Lando Norris there. Sergio Perez will deservedly take Alex Albon's seat at Red Bull, which will definitely make the Constructors' Championship much more entertaining, as Red Bull now might actually have a chance to beat Mercedes for the championship next season. And finally, Carlos Sainz will break up the fan-favorite duo between him and Lando Norris, which is called Carlando, to join Ferrari next season. So next season in Formula 1 seems like it'll actually be one of the most fun seasons in a long time, as we'll also see Mick Schumacher, the son of the great Michael Schumacher, compete in F1. So I'm really excited to see what happens in Formula 1 next season. So now that I've gone through some key sporting stories which have happened over the past week, let's take a look at some key sporting events which will take place over the next few days. So tonight, Manchester United will finally take on their historic rivals Leeds in the Premier League for the first time in almost 2 decades. In the NFL, we'll see some great games happen tonight, as Pattrick Mahomes' Chiefs will take on the Saints, and we'll also see Bill Belichick's Patriots take on Tua's Dolphins to keep their playoff hopes alive. And then you should also keep an eye out for the NBA, as the NBA season finally returns, as the NBA season kicks off on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, depending on where you are. Personally, I believe that the Lakers will top the Western Conference and end up going back-to-back, as I think they'll win the championship, defeating the Brooklyn Nets in the final. However, that's my prediction. What's your prediction? Comment below on who you think will win the NBA championship this season. So now that I've done the reviewing and previewing of sport, it's time to announce the Athlete of the Week. So my first nomination goes to Max Verstappen, who put on a flawless performance to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as discussed early on in the show. And then I'd also like to give some nominations to Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield, who put on a show in arguably the most entertaining Monday Night Football game ever, which saw the Ravens edge the Browns 47-42. However, as there can only be one Athlete of the Week, this week's Athlete of the Week goes to Lamar Jackson, who despite having cramp, put on a vintage MVP Lamar Jackson performance, making some incredible plays and scoring 3 touchdowns to inspire the Ravens to keep their playoff hopes alive and beat the Browns. So congratulations to Lamar Jackson for winning this week's Athlete of the Week. However, if you want to see the previous Athlete of the Weeks, take a look at the description, as I've included all the Athlete of the Weeks from the past few weeks. So that marks the end of the weekly sports show. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next week.